Now I sleep for less hours by myself because I get excited about studying. I graduated from IIT Roorkee in 2015 with a dual degree. I prepared for GMAT for around, I think, 2 years on and off. Like I started around August of 2018 and gave a couple of mocks, got around 640, 660. But then the motivation was not there, and I was having a mechanical course like where the course was given, but the interactions were not there. So I was not able to learn it. But then on the LinkedIn, I found your and CJ's profile, and you were sharing the learnings to the students in general. And after reading them, I realized ki, okay, this is something which is applicable to me as well. So what I'm doing is right now, like I'm focusing on the just the subjects, but I'm not focusing on the learning aspect. I'm just trying to mechanically learn things. I'm not trying to understand and grasp them. So I think that helped me a lot in terms of like coming from the hesitance that I won't be able to do it. The earlier the question was if that will I be able to do it or not. So now the question has become when, not if. Like so, I know ki I have the skills. I'm improving on the skills. I'm going in the depth of the problems and the skills required for GMAT and to improve my English overall. So I think that helped me a lot. And so giving that confidence overall that anybody can learn that skill, and it is not something which is only available to the privileged few or the like chosen from the lucky draw few. It is like anybody can learn it. You just have to be willing to put in the enough hours and have the motivation to understand it. And I think it helped me overall. There's a email which the thought of in the thought of the day which the GMAT company sent, that the Chicago map example, that if you are having a map of a different city altogether, you won't be able to like navigate it through well. So I think the direction which the overall I received during the course and even post the course, like reaching out to the support team at the GMAT company, I think that helped a lot in terms of increasing my confidence and getting the confidence of ensuring that I can score well in that particular time tested exam of GMAT. In terms of, I think, so like, so from the course, I think the first 2 3 sessions were the core skills of understanding how you read well. So not just focusing on running through, because there's a time aspect of the GMAT as well. So not just rushing through the courses, rushing through the lines, read and comprehend it. So I think that helped me a lot. So I think in your one class you told that learn or accrue the meaning as you go. So when you read 2 3 words and after that you read next 4 5 words, you can connect the meaning backwards, like what exactly is happening or what the author is trying to say. I think it helped me a lot in my CR and RC skill. So post attending the GMAT company's course, what I had was a sinusoidal curve, that in one exam I was doing well, in another exam I was not doing well. But post that, I think that becomes it became a very steady kind of a skill that in CR and RC I was able to apply it repeatedly. So it became more of a art. Like I learned how to do it, and I was able to understand what the author is trying to say. And like the focus towards learning is something which helped me a lot. So a lot of people, when they are reading the RC passage, they try to skim through it. So in your class, you told that if you are trying to skim through it, you won't be able to understand it. And I clearly remember that in your CR class, you told us that if you're not understanding what the sentence is saying, how are you going to answer the question correctly? So a lot of people, what they do try and do in CR is they just read it very fast and try to break it down, the assumption, reasoning, or the other kind of question. Post that sessions, I think I started focusing more on the prompt, read it and understand it well, visualize it what the author is trying to say, and fit in. Okay, the plumber is saying this, this association is saying this, and then able to fit in the solution. So I was able to visualize things. Okay, this is exactly happening. And even in the RC, I was trying to get immersed in the passage. Okay, this is not something which I'm reading for the exam. I'm trying to understand what the author is trying to say and then answer some questions related to it. So instead of it becoming more monotonous, it became more interesting. So I was like able to apply that skill regularly. So I was reading the RC passage to understand. Now I was just answering those questions. And I think not by having a focused like towards time doing it in a timely fashion, just doing it well, I think my time kind of improved as well. So I was able to read passages within 1.5 minutes to 2.5 minutes. And like my RC I can answer within 1 minute 20 seconds, 1 minute 30 seconds overall for a passage. And I think that just happened because I understand the passage now more clearly and I was not skimming through the passage. So I think the way you taught us that to understand and immerse, that helped a lot. And people saying that you should skim through and trying to teach different set of techniques or as if it's a formula, it is not. I think it's more of you have to practice it well and improve your skill constantly. And I think in the sessions, I think the way you guys focused on that not to go through the myths. Like there are a lot of myths which float around of usage of being always incorrect in the exam, or due to versus because of a myth, or a like that you cannot use like for example. So very focusedly telling that this is a myth and you should not focus on myth and you should question us as well. Like do not treat us as you are reading a holy book and what we are told is will be correct only. I think that confidence kind of helped a lot to me as a student, that I was not reading it to memorize it. I was reading it to understand and apply the logic. So, like in one of your sessions, you told that verbal reasoning and quant reasoning, they are eventually reasonings. मतलब like it's not just a reading test नहीं है चीजों में. It you have to understand things, like so you have to put the logic behind it. There's not a you just don't have to like copy paste करके, you don't have to apply things. You have to understand and then apply it. And I think the office hours overall was very focused and I think very crisp as well. So the approach of posting the questions correctly and giving the onus on the student to understand where exactly they are not able to understand it. It helped me overall to understand and introspect where I am going wrong or which specific thing I'm not able to understand. So earlier, what I was doing was when I was reading a sentence, and I was struggling a lot in verbal overall. So when I was reading a sentence, I was getting overwhelmed with the information which I'm getting. After going through the course, I think it's not just one specific thing, but array of things helped me in understanding. Okay, I don't need to get overwhelmed. I need to accrue the meaning, see, okay, grammatically this is making sense or not, and it helped overall to me in the SCCR RC passage. And when I was focusing on that particular question, okay, these are the two options where I'm getting confused, and this is a concept which I don't understand correctly. So in office hours, I was get like those questions were solved very correctly in a very correct fashion, and the logic behind it was given, not just standard myth or a standard technique which seemed to work in 4 questions but not in rest of the question. So a logic was given behind everything, and I think it helped in slowly from getting 4 doubts a day, it decreased to 1 doubt, and like then the doubts, when your doubt starts decreasing and your skill is improving, I think then you are moving towards the right direction overall. So the focused office hours was, I think, one of the nicest way to ensuring that the student is reading it properly and understanding their doubts correctly. Because if I'm not understanding my doubt correctly, how will you or CJ will be able to help me back? Because if I don't know where my pain is, how is doctor going to give me the right medicine for it? So I think that helped me overall a lot. And with you and CJ, I think the overall experience was, I think, really phenomenal, I would say. And there is, I can't just describe it in one word, but the focus towards building it as a life skill and learning, I think that helped a lot overall. Your focus towards accruing the meaning again and again, and being ready that okay, even we can be wrong, but then you have to come and question us. You don't have to say it everything what we are saying. And just that confidence that it's not a godman or a god who is sitting who has learned that particular skill, that I can't ask doubts. So I was like, it became more human. And I think, like I told earlier, it became a question of when and not if all apart. So I could see how things are happening, how your approach is, and you were able to, I think, translate it well as well. So, and I think when you were clearly communicating that you have to do this and not just giving us the formulas and giving the logic behind it, that helped a lot in terms of improving. So my motivation increased. Now, like, what it helped me was, I was not getting dreaded by GMAT preparation. I was not looking at, okay, this is 4 hours which I have to give. Now I sleep for less hours by myself because I get excited about studying. It is not that I'm not lazing around. People procrastinate because they don't get interested. So increasing the interest in the overall course kind of helped me overall. And I was just looking forward to study more, and not just doing it for the exam, but for my life skill. So I think that approach overall changed or transformed me. And I've been helping out like my cousins that if you are attending the college, just do it for the fun of it. I understand the course, what the subject is trying to say. And I think this is applicable across the horizon. It's not just applicable to the verbal or the quant, it's applicable across life. That if you are not trying to understand what the course is trying to teach you, what it actually means, and just doing for the numbers or the papers or the exams, you're not going to remember it after 1 year, 6 months, or 2 years. So I think in education system, if somebody would have taught us like that you need to learn it for a skill and not for the exams, I think the overall humanity would have gone much farther ahead. And I think that helped me overall for the GMAT exam, to be specific. But now I can apply this particular skill in different set of life aspects as well. In terms of recommendation, I think, like, I have already recommended in my friend circle to go and join the GMAT company if they are struggling with the GMAT preparation. And instead of spending $100 an hour on a coach, it's better to go and attend the GMAT intensive course and understand like where actually they're faltering. Because you guys able to, these are very basic things, but nobody is telling in the prep space that it's a learnable skill, it is achievable skill. People just focus on like ki 700 is a good enough score for the school or not. It's, you should focus it as a skill, and I think then eventually the score becomes a byproduct. And the way you guys have taught me, I think it can help other set of students as well. And I think there will be a lot of students who may be coming in with my referral, because I was so impressed with the course and was so immersed with the course. I think um, I don't think like in the 2020 anything better happened apart from having this course for me.